Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 5th grade concept of area and perimeter. This is standard 5.4H in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 34 off the 2022 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we're drawing a diagram of the base of a carton shaped like a rectangular prism. And so we're supposed to use the ruler here to measure the length and the width of this diagram. So really, it's a little bit obscured here. But as you can tell, this is not just a screen grab. This is an actual photo. I printed up the actual piece of paper from the STAAR test and 2 different rulers from the measurement chart and place them on this so that we could at least attempt to measure ourselves. I did line up the rulers, and that's as close as we can get as having you, the viewer, actually measure this, because this is one of those times in the STAAR test where they're not going to give you the measurements. They want to make sure that you understand how a ruler works. It tends to go away as you get a little bit older because we've been doing this for several years. But as you can see, we're going to measure both the length and the width. So on this ruler right here, we're going to make sure that we've got the 0 right there at that top of this line, and we're going to look down here. And you can see 3 is a little bit too long, but it says to the nearest inch. So even though it's a little bit less than 3 inches, there's that 3 right there, that's going to be close enough for us. We're just going to label that 3 inches. It's close enough. Now we're looking at our other measurement here, our width. Once again, we're starting with the 0 right there. And then you see the 4 is actually a little bit less than the actual line itself, but once again, it's close enough. So we're going to label this top one here as 4 inches. Now, we're looking for the area. So that's a mathematical term that we need to walk into this problem already knowing. So typically we're looking at 2 different things, right? Area and perimeter. Well, when I'm looking at a shape, the perimeter, I always think of that word rim, like a basketball rim, is the outside. So the perimeter goes all the way around. You just measure the 4 sides if it's a quadrilateral. The area is on the inside. So what we did in 3rd grade, right, is we took little squares. We put little squares in here. We drew how many squares there would be, because that's really what we're looking at. We're looking at how many square inches, since we're dealing with inches, would fill up this rectangle. And so if we wanted to, right, we could use our rulers to kind of draw some squares. Since they're sitting right here, we might as well. So I'm going to draw square inches using the lines that are on the rulers. And as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 square inches. Now, that's the kind of stuff that we would do in 3rd grade. By 4th and 5th grade, what we've already done is we've realized there's a shortcut, right? If my answer is 12, and really that's what that's representing, is how many square units, in this case square inches, are there, well, most of us realize that, hey, look, it's an array. And I could just multiply the length times the width. And that is our area formula. If you look at our mathematics chart, it's going to be length times width. So you can always draw the square units if you need to, but kind of a shortcut that we learn is just multiply the length and the width, since it is going to end up as an array, and that is going to get us our 12. Now, where do some of these other answers come from? Well, some of these might come from measuring incorrectly, but I know where this 14 comes from. Take a look at that 14. If I were to rewrite this here, 4, 3, 3, well, guess what? That's 7. That's 7. If I add those 2 together, that's going to give me 14. That's actually the perimeter. Not what we're looking for, but that's the perimeter. So our answer here is A.